welcome back to another Heather Mac Reacts. Today we're going through some MID whole stories, and if you like videos like this, make sure you subscribe because I post 5 times a week, every single week, and if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into this first MID whole story. This says, MID whole for disowning my wife's daughter after she chose her mom's affair partner over me. Yikes. That's your stepdaughter. How long did y'all spend together? But she chose the affair partner. I'm feeling like I'm on your side, but let's read the story. I, 35 male, met my now soon-to-be ex-wife, 33 female, during uni 12 years ago. She already had a kid when she was 19, but the dad left as soon as she started uni. We were dating for 3 months before I met her daughter, Lisa. I remember seeing her family for the first time. I was nervous meeting her parents, but when I saw a little girl beside her mom, I was confused. I asked her if that was her little sister or a cousin of hers, and her answer shocked me. When she told me that that's her daughter, I thought I misheard her or something. At first, I wanted to dump her for hiding something so crucial from me, but she kept on begging for me to stay, and eventually I relented, and soon enough I started to fall in love with her daughter and wanted to be her father figure. Our bond grew stronger over the years, and in early 2019, before the pandemic hit, we got married. In late 2021, I adopted Lisa, and in early 2022, my wife gave birth to our son, Mark. After my son was born, my wife made the choice to stay at home for the time being, and I was completely fine with that. Everything was going perfectly until a few months ago. I started noticing my wife increasingly spending time with her friends. At the time, I didn't say anything, since in my mind, being at home all day probably meant eating at her, probably meant eating at her, and I didn't want to seem controlling. The thing that made me suspicious was her constant texting and going out of the room for calls. She never did that for anyone beside this one friend of hers. I asked her about it, but she gave me some vague answers about gossip. I think we all know what's happening here. The moment that took it too far, though, was when I came home last week and saw her outside talking on the phone. This wasn't out of the ordinary. I remember seeing my son on the floor crying alone. I was pissed at my wife for just leaving him alone in the house, but when I went to pick him up and smelled the horrible stench coming from him, I was beyond furious. His diaper seemed like it hadn't been changed since that morning. I quickly changed his diaper and rushed outside with him in my arms. I was beyond pissed. I snatched her phone from her hand and bolted back inside. I locked my wife outside to have a talk with this friend of hers alone. I had my suspicions about who it really was, and when I heard a male voice calling out her name and asking who was there, I immediately knew what was going on. He ended the call as soon as he heard my voice. I then proceeded to lock the front door to make sure my wife couldn't enter the house at all, and proceeded to screenshot as much of their chat as I could, and then sent them to myself before deleting them on her phone. Yikes, this is blowing up in your face. About 5 minutes later, she was still banging on the glass door leading to the backyard. I reluctantly opened it and was met with a smack in the face. Remember, all of this is happening while I'm holding my toddler in my arms. As soon as she realized what she just did, she apologized profusely, started crying, and tried to hug me. I pushed her away and told her to meet me at the dining table. I told my daughter to quickly take care of the baby so me and her mom could have a quick chat. I just kept it simple. I told her this was her only chance to even have a sliver of a chance of getting me back. If she fucked up this talk, it was over on the spot, no lies, nothing. She kept on trying to apologize and to say it wasn't that serious. I reminded her that she not only fucked me over, she could also have easily done serious harm to our son by leaving him alone in the house like that. I then simply asked who, for how long, and did they fuck. She replied with her ex-boss Daniel, 6 months, and she didn't answer the last one, so I kept on reminding her that this was her last chance. She then simply just nodded. I then asked if they used protection. To this, she started crying and started begging me for forgiveness. She said she would block him then and there, would never contact him again. I could fuck any woman I want from now on, yada yada. Bitch, shut up. Shut up. You look dumb. I guess Lisa heard the commotion and came downstairs. I told her to go back up, but she just walked to my wife and asked her if I knew about Daniel. Up to this point, I was calm, but upon hearing this, I swear even I started tearing up. I asked Lisa if she knew all along, and she said yes. At this point, I'm full on crying, and I asked her why she didn't tell me. She responded with, because unlike you, Daniel buys me things I want without having to beg. I then asked her how she could possibly do this to her dad. She responded with the "you're not my real dad" crap. My wife screamed at her upon hearing what she said. At that point, I couldn't bear any of this anymore. I just grabbed my son and got in the car. Yeah, you know why that asshole fucking douchebag Daniel buys you shit? Because he's trying to get in your good graces and suck up to your mom so he can fuck her behind your dad's back. Girl, what are you, 12? You should know better. 12 or older? Come on. Me and my son are currently staying at my parents' house. I've basically been drinking myself to sleep every day. Thanks to the saint of a mother I have, my son is being taken care of right now. I'm beyond hurt. I've canceled my ex-daughter's private school tuitions, all her extracurricular activities, and I've contacted a divorce lawyer. He's going to serve my wife this Friday. My wife and Lisa have been blowing up my phone nonstop with apologies. I simply responded with, get a lawyer and tell that ungrateful thing of yours to start calling Daniel her dad. I'm disowning her. And then I blocked my wife. Like, my feelings are hurt right now. I didn't respond to Lisa. I just simply blocked her. I guess my wife told our friends what her and Lisa did, and now they have been texting me nonstop. They understand how I'm feeling, but believe I'm going too far by divorcing my wife without hearing her out. They also keep telling me that disowning Lisa is definitely going too far, and she's only a kid and didn't understand what she was doing. I just can't get over the things she's told me. I've worked my ass off to give my wife and daughter luxuries I could have only dreamed of as a kid, and this is how I get paid back. Lisa, 13 years old, is old enough to understand that hiding her mom's affair is bad and definitely purposely used those words to hurt me. But a part of me believes that there is still hope. A few family counseling sessions later, and we can go back to living the life I once considered a fairy tale. I'm beyond destroyed by this whole situation. A part of me just wants to see them burn in hell, but the other part of me believes there is still hope. Am I really going too far? Is there still hope? Am I the a-hole for disowning my daughter and divorcing my wife? Wow. Y'all, that was heavy as hell. That was so much. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do I blame you for what you said in a moment? No. Canceling the tuition and extracurricular activities like mid-year is kind of a lot. Even for a dad to do. Like, if you really were her dad, you wouldn't have done that, I don't think. I understand that she said you're not her dad, but she's also 13 and you're grown. So, but not wanting to talk to them and like maybe never talking to them again, like, I'm not sure, but I think you should have let her finish the year of tuition and after school activities and stuff. But yikes, I really want to know what y'all think about this one in the comments, because I'm just flabbergasted at where this went. Let's see what Reddit has to say. I would get a DNA test on your son just in case. That is a lower blow than I was expecting at this point in the game. Next says, and the STD tests needed in situations like these. Yeah, she's been fucking Daniel with no protection and who knows who else. Yeah, I think I agree that both of those tests are probably pretty necessary at this point. Let's see, the last comment says, Brother A, you need to set down that bottle for a moment, since that stuff can catch up with you. Even if I know you're in pain, I hope all goes well for you, man. This is the hottest of messes, and I think several of y'all need therapy, maybe individually, maybe together, I'm not sure. Definitely individually for now. Yikes. Let me know what you think about that one in the comments, and let's go on to the next story. This says, am I the a-hole if I sell my youngest daughter's car to help cover my oldest's tuition? Reddit already says you're the a-hole, and I'm going to have to agree with that, but let's see what the story says. Hello Reddit, I don't normally post on these kinds of things, so I don't know all the labeling and acronym conventions and things that I see people using in other posts. I am 55 male, my daughters are 21 female and 17 female. My oldest is finishing up her junior year of college at a very good school. We are all very proud of her. She has a full ride academic scholarship that is dependent on her GPA. Well, she says, based on her current grades, after the semester, her GPA will dip below the cutoff, and after extensive back and forth on the phone with the school, they say it is contractual and we will be obligated to pay next year's tuition. If she gets her GPA back above the threshold next semester, we can apparently readdress the situation to determine if her scholarship can be reinstated for the final semester of school. When I tell you we bent over backwards trying to find a solution, but before we came to the one we did. We've done the math and she can't get her grades up with how much of the semester is left. She also can't take enough credits during the summer based on how the summer classes are structured to raise her GPA high enough, even if she got A's. And the school refuses to make any exceptions. Of course, we were upset with her for allowing this to happen, and we had a long talk with her, and she's upset at herself too. But she's a very smart kid who really struggled with her mental health from sophomore years into junior year, and it affected her grades. Under no circumstance did we want her to leave college with only 1 year left. That just truly would not be fair to her after how hard she worked. For my youngest 17th birthday back in December, we got her a brand new Toyota RAV4. This was somewhat a gift for the fact that she has also been working really hard in school and getting great grades. She's finished up her junior year as well and has begun the application process for college. The car was a big deal and she was very happy to have it and has been driving it nonstop. Well, this week her mom and I sat her down and told her that we're very sorry, but if we can't find another solution, we have to sell her car to help cover oldest tuition. Mind you, most of this car will cover probably 1/3 of the tuition for 1 full year after FAFSA, probably less with the value depreciation. She became extremely upset and told us that it was unfair we were rewarding our oldest for failing and punishing her for succeeding, and whose car we would sell if the same happened to her, but we never wanted her to feel punished or for our oldest to feel rewarded. It's just the reality of what we need to do right now. If the same happened to her, we would do everything in our power to help. So please tell me if I would be an a-hole for selling the car. Yes, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? You're gonna take away your daughter's car that she uses to get to school and or work because your oldest couldn't get it together and fucking keep her GPA up enough to stay in school. Ma'am, sounds like you need to take out a student loan and pay for that year because you fucked that year up. Are you kidding me? That's on you, boo-boo, not on your little sister. That is fucking ridiculous. Let's see what Reddit has to say. You are the a-hole or would be. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul. If you sell that car, the youngest will resent you forever. Also, how do you have the money to buy a 17-year-old a brand new car and not have enough for tuition? What were you going to do for her education funds? Great question. Next says, my sisters had my dad/mom to help with college. My mom died when I was a high school senior. I worked 40 hours a week and went to school full time and took out student loans. One time I was short $3,000 and needed his help. He gave it, but then used it against me as many times as he could. Never did that to my sisters. It's one of the many reasons I am no contact with my dad. And that's the road that y'all are looking at if you take that car away from your daughters. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. How about one of you idiots sell your fucking car? I say you are the a-hole. I would like to know what you all think about that one in the comments, and let's get on to the next story. This says, am I the a-hole for screaming at my friend when she kept asking me the same question? Yikes. Okay, background info. I, 28 male, used to work in the film industry as a freelancing wardrobe stylist / costumer from when I was 21 years old. I met said friend, 26 female, on set early in my career where she also just started off her career. 2+ years ago, I left the industry of near non-existent work-life balance, being taken advantage of, and pay issues, underpaid or constant late payment, which is common in my country due to no unions exist here. Doesn't help that I had worked 3 months with my pay being withheld for a project at the end of my film career. So I left the entire scene for an office hour job that pays significantly lower than freelancing, but stable with benefits. My current job is something many are surprised that I took up. I work in libraries now, LOL. My friend, let's call her Allie. Allie is a Nepo baby in the industry. Her father is a longtime video editor, and her aunt was someone prominent with strong influences in the local scene, so she doesn't face any issues that I faced, who had no one to protect me from the nonsensical business practices of the industry. She couldn't seem to grasp the concept that I left my passions to work in corporate. I tried to explain to her my situation. I'm the oldest child and the only son in an Asian household, and I am the main breadwinner of my family of 6, and the fact my passion for creative work had died. I was more interested in stability. She still questioned my choices. Ali kept asking the same questions for 2 years, kept trying to coax me back into joining back the film industry, kept saying that working for passion is better suited for me, or she has no friends in the industry anymore. There were a good number of people who left. I kept trying to get her to understand that I'm happy and comfortable with my current job. Recently, she asked me the same question when we met for dinner, and this time I was kinda in a bad mood, so I snapped at her in public. I called her out for her blatant disrespect of my choices and the fact she saw how much I had to endure working in film, how I was unhappy in the end. I told her that she's an idiot and to fuck off, paid for my meal, and laughed. Now that I have managed to cool down, I feel guilty for causing a commotion in public and embarrassing her. Am I the a-hole? Yes. Like, you knew what she was like, and you knew that she kept doing this, and you still kept putting yourself in her presence. So it's kind of like, I'm gonna blame you for putting yourself in that situation and then making a fool out of yourself in public due to it. That's what I think. Let's see. There's an update. Thank you for your inputs and POVs. I appreciate it. For those of you who asked, I did have a mini breakdown and screamed at her face in a food court. Not my best moment, in all honesty. I do agree that I may have been harsh and should have reacted appropriately, especially if it's in public. If talking about boundaries, I thought initially that Allie should have understood what I was going through. She has seen my family situation. I have ranted to her about pressures I felt. She has seen me going through breakdowns multiple times. She has seen me trying to survive with barely not much money when the company I was freelancing with delayed my pay yet again for another month. Maybe I shouldn't have expected that. She should have known my boundaries without any firm clarification. I decided to talk things out with her by asking her out for coffee. If she replies to my text and acknowledges my apology, I guess I'll update when Allie and myself work things out. I do enjoy being her friend. She has good sides. I just don't like the way she approaches issues that may be touchy. It wasn't the first time she got screamed at by someone. Unfortunately, this time it was me. That's just a weird situation. I want to see what Reddit has to say about this. Not the a-hole. After 2 years of being hounded, I'm not surprised you snapped, particularly to someone so privileged that they have no concept of what you've had to deal with throughout your career. Understandable. I'm just again wondering why he continued to put himself in this situation. Next says, not the a-hole. It seems she didn't pay attention to the details of your conversations. Makes you wonder if she is really happy in the field. Interesting. No. Okay. Do I feel like I would have blown up at her eventually? Yeah, but like also me, like I would have just stopped hanging out with her a long time ago if she like would not stop harping about the same things. Like a casual acquaintance ain't worth that to me. That's what I think. I would like to know what you all think about that one in the comments, and let's get on to the next story. This says, am I the a-hole for ghosting my girlfriend's daughter after my girlfriend cheated on me? So this is another, y'all, I swear to you, when I find these stories, I just scroll through my Reddit like homepage and just grab the first 4 stories that are not like crazy long and like have a somewhat interesting title. And we just so happen to have 2 stepfather situations with cheaters. Let's see what this one says. I, 26 male, was in a relationship with my girlfriend, 26 female, for 6 years. I was engaged to her and our marriage was scheduled in a few months' time. My girlfriend had a daughter at a really young age. Her ex left the state immediately after he heard she got pregnant. When I started dating my girlfriend, her daughter was 2. Over the past 6 years, I have pretty much considered her my own daughter and treated her as such. I had plans to legally become her stepfather after marriage. I loved my daughter so much. However, a couple of months ago, my girlfriend confessed that she had been having an affair after I saw her text from her coworker. The texts were so outrageous that she really couldn't lie about the affair. She said she had been having an affair for a few months. I obviously canceled the engagement and the wedding and moved out a week later. My girlfriend's daughter was a bit confused and it hurt me, but I really did not want to be around my girlfriend anymore. I have now completely cut off contact with both my girlfriend and her daughter. My girlfriend does still text me frequently and is asking me to reconsider at least maintaining a relationship with her daughter temporarily, because her daughter has constantly been asking where is dad and even been crying a lot. This does hurt me a lot and I really wanted to maintain a relationship with my girlfriend's daughter, but the issue is if I do go over to their house, I will have to see my girlfriend's face and I just can't stand to see her face anymore. I am trying to leave it all behind and already started going on new dates. Am I the a-hole? Yes. Okay. Last story, first story, I sort of understand where the stepfather was feeling like cutting ties might be a good idea. But this little girl is 8. You have known her and been in her life for 6 of those years. You consider her your daughter. She considers you dad, and you just walked out on her. Get in touch with your ex-girlfriend's mom, dad, brother, sister, neighbor, someone who can facilitate you being able to see your stepdaughter, because I promise you, this is such a significant piece of who she is going to turn out to be. However you handle this is going to mold her into the person that she's going to be when she grows up, and you don't want to make a mistake. I think you are being the a-hole. Let's see what Reddit says. Say goodbye to the little girl, tell her the truth, or that you both don't love each other anymore and that you still love her but have to leave. Next says, I think saying goodbye to her and letting her know it isn't her fault would be helpful for the little girl's understanding. I feel bad for OP though too. I really think that you should do everything you can to stay in her life. There's one more comment. Given the character of the ex, I doubt that conversation could even be arranged without having to lie. No way she is going to let him say, well, you see, sweetie, men sometimes leave their girlfriends because they're lying, cheating whores like your mother, to her daughter, or even the most polite variation of that phrase, if she has an inkling that is his intention. Okay, we're gonna finish like this. Like, he shouldn't have to omit what the mom did for his mental health and the daughter's mental health, but I definitely think someone who is this insanely bad with impulse control is not going to be emotionally mature enough to field questions or allow other people to explain what happened. There's also legal shit to worry about. Probably better to just ghost. I have to agree. I really think you should try to get in touch with her family or her friend or someone that can help facilitate and be the go-between for visits, and just do everything you can to be in that little girl's life as long as you can be, because parental roles are so important.
I love you. Love you.
I love you too. I don't think you should ghost. I think you're being an a-hole. I would like to know what you all think about this one in the comments. Don't forget, we have a playlist of over 250 MIV videos up here that you can binge. Please don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.